It was hard to believe that we were still in the most densely populated state in the country as we entered the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area. The cold spring had kept the leaves off the trees, giving us a clear view of the Delaware River as Chris Megan and I traveled the winding country roads on our way to meet our good friend, Rich Swisstack. I've known Swiss as a dedicated striped bass fisherman for years, but it wasn't until this past winter, while winding down after the Saltwater Fishing Expo, that I learned we shared a love of another anadromous species, the American Shad. The Delaware Water Gap is a 70,000-acre wilderness on the border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. There, the Delaware River cuts through the Kittatinny Ridge of the Appalachian Mountains. This pristine stretch of river is home to bald eagles, black bears, white-tailed deer, beavers, and of course, American shad.
All right, so Swiss, I noticed that right now you're bouncing. So you started out, you threw straight out or a little bit upstream.
Yep. And you don't want to throw too far upstream because you don't want it to sink so deep that it'll get hung because there are rocks.
How much water, how deep are we out there?
From what I've heard, it's 20, 30 feet straight out in front
All right,
of us.
I'm going to send Jimmy out there to check the depth.
Yeah, Jimmy, would you mind swimming out and checking out deep
Check the depth. So these fish right now, like, especially the big roe, they want to hang down by the bottom because they're coming in from the ocean where they're usually in deep, deep water, right?
Well, yeah, but what we got here, this is what I call like a holding pool. If you look right down here, you'll see there's like a riffle, kind of.
Yes.
Right? So they'll fight through that riffle as they're moving up. And they get into here, being they've been expending so much energy, this is just my
This is
version
just
of
them
it.
resting in here.
They get in here and they rest. They'll circle around and they're doing their thing, but they'll rest in here and then they'll go up to the next riffle and they'll fight through and rest in the next pool.
Okay.
But I do believe, because there's so many fish that come into this pool, that some of them stay and spawn right here and don't ever leave.
Really?
I firmly believe that, because they'll be here right till they start dying. You know what I mean? We'll catch them in here right till like
So
June.
we're casting as far as we can.
Yep.
You're giving it, you said about an 8-10 second count,
Yep.
letting it just bounce right along like that.
And just pop it and hop
just
it. 'Cause
popping it up.
That triggers them. They want that
Yeah, okay.
reaction bite, you know?
All right.
Go ahead, do it. And don't worry about crossing lines because everybody's on a swing. If everybody's on the same swing, you don't have to worry about it, you know?
Whoa.
Try not to fall in though. You know what I mean?
I'm out in the shipping channels right now.
I've done enough rescues here in the last couple of weeks.
So we're looking at 6, 7, 8. And then you just start popping it there?
Yeah, just as soon as that line's tight on the water, really. There he is.
Hi, Swiss. All right, I see where that is, Swiss.
Ooh, baby. Do that thing you do.
I've had a couple of taps, had one on there, didn't really set up on the hook. A little cautious on the mouth, because I know they're really, really soft mouths.
So you can lean on them pretty good though.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean.
Yeah,
Next one I'm gonna lean. I'm gonna cross some eyes.
Yeah, cross some eyes on the next one.
Swiss into one that was taking a little bit of line there.
The funny thing is, being I've been up here a few days, I can feel a cold in the fish, believe it or not. This fish is not pulling anywhere near, even though that scream and run.
Yeah.
What do you see what happens in 2 days when we get that 78 degree weather? Because I would never normally have this fish this close to me that quick, but they're still just incredible. Get them, there you go, lean on them, yeah, crank them, there you go. Doubles.
Doubles, here we go, Swiss. Oh, just popped.
No. There's a whole bunch of them in the water with him.
With him?
Yeah, there's another row.
Just got popped again, just got hit again.
What happens is all the males climb all over when you're bringing her in.
There he is, back again. He wanted seconds.
Got him? There you go. Push him off. You're still there. He's coming back at you, ain't he?
No. You you were saying earlier, was striped bass are just showing up by us right now.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like, you know, why do you want to be out here? And then you start looking at it's the size of some of these fish.
Yeah, and it's just, they're incredible how they pull for their size. I've fished for all different types of fish all over the country and all over the world. In certain places, I've never caught a fish that pulls, a 4-pound fish that can pull like American Shad can pull.
And now will the night just turn these things off?
Nah, they do, but I've caught them into dark. I think it's
there
just...
a certain time of day that you, that it's kind of like this is prime time, or is it?
Yeah, mornings and evenings seem to be the best, but when the water's cold like this, you'll catch them all day long. But one of the keys that I look for, like tonight's gonna be a little rough because it's pretty overcast and it's still cold. You'll see tomorrow night, one of the keys to it is when that sun catches the top of that mountain line, boom, it's game on big time.
So I know right where these fish are. I've got 3 whacks in a row, hooked up one. They're kind of right towards the tail end of the cast as it swings in.
During a fishing trip with friends, there's always an odd man out. While Swiss and Chris were hooking shad, I was dealing with snags, tangles, and crossed lines. Finally, it was too much, so I moved downriver to elbow my way in between them.
Swiss and I had a really pretty good thing going here, and then all of a sudden...
It's interesting how one guy can just come in and kill the dynamic.
Chris, you know what?
One of the guys
I gotta
just
be
came.
honest. I haven't had a bite since Jimmy walked down
As soon as he walked in, it shut it down.
Because they got scared out there.
I don't know if it's that. Pennsylvania's putting up a slick or something.
Yeah, I caught one on a dry last year, but it was in June. It was the dying side, you know, they were done spawning. I was doing a drift trip with a buddy of mine, and it was right at sunset, drifting spinners, you know, down.
I don't know if
There you go.
Yeah, there he is.
This is unbelievable.
You just got to dial it in. Jimmy just gave me his rod, which seemed to be a lucky rod. I appreciate that more than he knows. There just seems to be a sweet spot out there.
Yeah, that's it. You just got to hit that right sweet spot.
Wow, this has got a great feel.
Strong one. I feel it's feeling a better one. You get that deep, solid, just lock in.
Yeah, that
dumping, head dumping,
one,
you
I
can't
had
budge
one
it.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
The one that you said just let it go.
Yeah.
This guy has a little bit of a coobler next to that other one. Whoa, oh, it's okay. I'm okay with that. He wasn't real big. So you know what seems to make a bit, like you said, the scope, not having the scope in the line.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference when there's no wind. The wind just makes it really tough.
Chris, you could tell me you need to scratch your belly twice right now and I would do it. You need to pat your head 2 times right when it hits 3 o'clock.
There he is.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. Switch, you want that on?
That's a better.
Ah, I'll get him. I'm good.
Oh, there we
good.
go.
There you go.
There you go, Jimbo. You know what?
That is a triple, huh?
You did scratch your belly.
That's what it was. So Chris and Swiss are both fighting probably their 6th, 7th, 8th fish. This is the longest I've had one on, but playing monkey in the middle for a little bit there.
But you know what, though?
Still, until I land them.
I've fished with Jimmy long enough to know that after a day or 2, he'll lap me. This guy seems like he's got a little bit more size to him. 3. Yeah, talk about
now,
feeling
man.
it, huh? Oh, that's a big fish.
Nice one.
You seem small till you get it up here.
All right.
Look at that.
That's not bad.
Guys, they're starting
Nice.
to catch striped bass, schoolies.
Release.
But this is as big as some of the schoolies they're catching there, and how much fun that is. Look at both of these fish, gorgeous.
I'll let them swim.
Big American shad.
The shad continued biting until the last trace of daylight faded behind the mountains. As we packed up, Swiss promised there would be good food, a warm campfire, and great company waiting for us just upriver at the Hercules Rod and Gun Club. Swapping fish stories around a fire is an essential part of any fishing road trip. As the members of the club recounted stories from their decades of fishing and hunting around the Water Gap, Chris and I listened, laughed, and absorbed what knowledge we could for the following day's fishing.
We're in the Delaware River, maybe 15 minutes north of the Delaware Water Gap. The shad, they call it America's fish. It's been, making this run since the beginning of time. George Washington would use them to feed his soldiers. I mean, this fish is so strong and so full of muscle that they're traveling far. I wouldn't be surprised. They catch them in Florida, they catch them in North Carolina, all the way up the whole East Coast. As the time of year gets right and the weather gets right, they make spawning runs up all the St. Johns River, Roanoke Rivers, and obviously the Delaware River. And there's millions of shad that come up. But as far as the catching, it's really water temperature dependent. They'll make their run through here in the waters in the low 40s. And generally speaking, they won't open their mouth and hit a dart or a spoon or anything until the water reaches right around that 50-degree mark. That seems like the magic number. I'm gonna say somewhere in the probably mid-60s. There's one. They'll do their spawn and they'll die off, just like a salmon. And then they'll come floating back down the river and stink to join up and feed the bears and the raccoons and everybody else. And the young will hatch and go down the river and come start their whole journey. I believe there's a group of these fish that make a double run, because how could some rows that we catch be 6 pounds and other rows be 2 pounds or 3 pounds? That's not just genetics, that's a different age class of fish. So in order for one of these rows to get to 6 pounds, I'm gonna say they're making 2 runs. They're going back out as like first-year adults, and then they'll come back up the second year and then they'll die off. And I've talked to some research people about that, and they kind of agreed, nice jump. And they kind of agreed with that. This is a row here. Are you sneaking in my spot, buddy?
I'm gonna try to move in a little closer. He's all over my numbers. Swiss,
Yep.
Throwing a blade. You just letting it bounce along? Or
Let it say similar to the dart, right? Just let it sink down, give it like a 5-6 count. There's a nice fat belly on her. Where were you this weekend when I needed you for a tournament?
Nice fish, huh, Swiss?
Yeah, that's a pretty fish. With that sun color. That's a nice one. There we go. There you go. You want a spoon too, Jim, or no?
Yeah, I switched over to a spoon as well.
All right, you dirty dogs.
Oh,
there. How's that? There's a dart. Come on, Chris, you're up. You're up, brother.
Big pool of them out there, huh?
heavy
Yeah,
fish.
some fish must have just moved up and around here.
Oh, it's got a male with them too.
That's what they call poor man's tarpon.
The way they fight, Scotty.
Whoop. Goodbye. Better off, because they are a little slimy.
So the 2 main things that you use for shad are either shad darts or flutter spoons. And last night we had just about all of our luck on darts, but this morning we got here and right away Scotty caught 2 on flutter spoons. So I snagged up and I made the switch, and probably my second cast with them. And all that, it's just a little flash of color and some action, just enough to aggravate them into striking it. So I mean, because these shad aren't up here looking to feed. They're just here to spawn, but they will strike those spoons out of aggression. It's another nice row. See the belly, the eggs in there. She's getting ready to drop them. Big, beautiful fish.
Keep knocking on the devil's door. Someone's gonna answer.
You mess with the bull, young man, you get the horns, right?
You're getting the horns. After I knew that, once I figured out that you can't rip their lips, I'm a big fan of setting up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, nice, beautiful fish. I don't know, there's something special about just making Jimmy net my fish. I really enjoy it. He's wrapped a little bit. There we go, Jimmy, thank you. Look at the girth on this fish, and the weight. Look at the stomach on that thing. Beautiful fish. I don't know if you can see the thickness of the stomach on that fish. Just really gorgeous. Water's still right, and you can tell it's still in that high 40s, low 50s. But just a beautiful fish. Gonna let him just slide away.
It's the biggest member of the herring family right there.
The fishing slowed down at midday as the shad hunkered down in the deep holes, so we returned to camp for lunch before heading to a different part of the river for the evening bite.
So we took a little lunch break, a little siesta in the middle of the day, and we're back out at a new spot. It's different water than we've been fishing. We've been fishing a deeper, slow pool. This is a riffle here where the river narrows, and it's a pinch point where all the shad are going to come through. So we're fishing basically, you know, in the middle of the shad highway. As they move up, we're putting our shad darts through this little edge of fast water where they're going to move. But right now, with the high sun, it's not quite happening yet. We've been fishing here for about 20 minutes, and we haven't had a touch. But as always, you know, keep switching up, and it could be they haven't seen something they want to bite yet, or it's just the wrong time of day, and once that sun sinks behind those mountains, things can turn right back on.
There he is. No.
Got him?
Yes,
All
definitely,
right.
definitely.
Way to go, Chris. Get it started, buddy.
Nice.
They pull pretty good in that current, eh, Chris?
Oh, yeah, they do. It's like a stalemate right there. So we got a new spot here. This is one of Swish's favorite spots. Got in here, and it's been really, really bright sunshine today, and just a huge difference in the temperature and the change from this morning. We woke up this morning, it was 36 degrees. It's got to be 70+ degrees right now. So the conditions have changed dramatically. The bite that we had earlier this morning, which was a real steady pick down by the mine, this is a little thinner, but we're hoping that this is a first fish in here is a really good sign. Jimmy, you want to come out and net him?
Let's keep that button just a little longer. Your net man's almost here, Chris.
We got a new net, and we got a great net man. And I've been netting for him too, in all fairness.
One more time around, and
Beautiful fish, huh?
That was on the top dart too. Look at that.
Gorgeous fish. We're gonna go ahead and let him go. There he goes. That was awesome. Thanks for the assist on that.
No problem. One of the main differences between today and yesterday is the cloud cover. Yesterday was real gray and overcast and colder. Today we've got bright blue skies, and that can really affect what the shad are going to bite on. Today we've definitely had a few more fish on spoons than darts, so I'm going to switch over to a spoon. Chris just got one on a dart, so you know, we'll keep mixing it up until we put a little bite together, and everybody can switch to what's working best.
There we go.
There you go, Chris. They're coming. They'll be here. They're down deep in that pool yet.
Hey, that's the second fish on the inside of the riffle. Jimmy, I'm coming right at your line, Jimmy. So that was a really far cast, about 1 o'clock, and I drifted all the way back, but it didn't do anything in the middle of the riffle, but it did it on the back side of right when it came into the soft water on the inside of the riffle. He's right there on the surface. Don't see any nails on him. Nice fish though. Oh, right in the corner. He said he's just never quit, and that's why it's so much fun. Look at the size of these things. Big female. Trunk full of roe. Ooh. All right, let's all work together now, boys. Let's all work together. And it's on again. Look at the size of this fish in here. Colors of this fish. Oh, they are really slimy. Okay, baby. You're gonna go back. Look at that fish.
As Swiss had predicted, when the sun sank into the mountains, the shad started moving. Like a switch had been flipped, we all began hooking into gleaming slabs of silver as a school of shad migrated by us on its way upriver. Just before it was time to leave, I hooked into my biggest shad of the trip, and perhaps best of all, it was Chris who had to net it for me.